What's up guys, Houndish here, and we're back today with some updates for Destiny 2. So in this video we've got some new exotic quest details, interesting location info, new perks and a couple of other things to talk about for the upcoming season exotic. There are some other season updates worth bearing in mind, but then Bungie confirm a missing strike, some activity issues, as well as an update coming to the game next week. We'll cover some quest changes, new exotic rewards. Bungie also give us an update on plans for destinations and more, which we'll cover in the videos. So guys, as always, I hope you do enjoy this one. But without further delay, let's get into it. First up, let's talk a little bit about strikes. We are going to be getting the Proving Ground strike later on next month. But we've also got the 2 Cosmodrome reprise strikes. And initially players were wondering about having a launch node on the Director. So DMG said Devil's Lair will have a direct launch node from the Cosmodrome map next week, and it will be available through the Vanguard Strikes playlist. Until then, it's available as a Nightfall, and so they are being kind of added into the playlist once they've been featured. But Bungie Help said that due to an issue where players could become blocked during the Fallen Saber strike, it is currently unavailable. We've identified the issues and are currently developing a fix, but they're going to provide updates when more information is available, so unfortunately a bit of funky stuff going on with that, but hopefully it's something that Bungie can get fixed soon. Other fast fire updates for today include that Bungie have confirmed Penumbral Blast's damage being reduced was not an intended change, and it's going to be fixed in a future update. And Cosmo added that they looked into this and reducing the damage from 80 to 38 was not an intended change, and so an accidental nerf right there for the Stasis Warlock melee, but hopefully it'll be fixed soon. DMG also said another missed patch note, but the Season 13 did fix the Mida Mini and Drang Masterworks, so they're now working properly. And finally, Bungie Help said, we're aware of an issue causing some players not to receive Bright Dust as a reward for completing the weekly challenges for Vanguard, Crucible, and Gambit, and we're working on a fix to resolve the issue and provide players with the Bright Dust they did not receive. So bear those in mind, and we'll talk more about future game updates in a moment, but now we should drop a quick spoiler alert because we're going to speak about the upcoming secret season exotic for Season 13. One of the things that Bungie teased to us being a Cabal ship lost in space, so initially they showed it in the trailer, but Destiny data miner Monty even tweeted, we get access to Glykon, the exotic quest location, by week 3. Seems to be a Hawkmoon-like activity where we go multiple times over the season for different reasons. And Destiny News.com on Twitter did share an image of how this is going to appear on the Director, and we can see that Cabal ship. But of course week 3 is going to be the 23rd of February, and so for the moment it looks like that's when the activity will first become available, and I believe that's according to Datamine Triumphs for the season challenges. We also know that there's going to be a normal and master difficulty version of this mission, various objectives, collectibles, and triumphs taking place on this Cabal carrier ship. But also now thanks to Jinsa, we know what the perks for the exotic weapon are likely to be. Of course, it's going to be a Tex Mechanica scout rifle, but there is a listing for a perk called Cranial Spike, where chaining precision hits grants bonus damage and quickens reload speed. But also a catalyst bonus, Dark Forged Trigger, which increases hipfire rate of fire and removes hipfire accuracy penalties. And that could potentially link to a weapon made by Tex Mechanica, kind of like a miniature last word bonus being added with the catalyst. And so it will be interesting to see exactly when we get the weapon, whether the normal variant of this exotic quest will actually reward the thing, or, as some have suggested, we'll have to wait for a master difficulty version to actually unlock the weapon. It'll definitely be interesting, and give us your thoughts down below. We spoke yesterday about a series of weekly quests that are going to be coming out over the course of the season as well, and these are the Challengers Proving quests. And just as a quick mention here, but when we complete the final version, Zavala is going to give us an exotic package here. Rewards for the Chosen of the Vanguard, who defeated Kaitl's champion. And it will drop the Vita Brevis, a new exotic sparrow. It's a curious looking reward, let us know what you think about it down below. And now moving back to the conversation of the Cosmodrome, of course we've got the new strikes taking place there. Bungie in their recent update do confirm that they're not actually going to be expanding the size of the destination. And to clarify, they said when we first shared our plans for Cosmodrome, we were still in early development and uncertain how far we would go with the Cosmodrome Unvault. We were pretty sure it wouldn't include the plate glands, and they mentioned that they were unsure as to exactly how much they were going to expand it. But they say as they approached Beyond Light launch, it became clear to us that we had a choice to make. After returning all 3 of its original strikes, do we invest more time and resources into bringing Cosmodrome D1 parity, or do we switch our focus to building new experiences for Year 4 and beyond? And given that we believed we'd achieved our original goals by knowing the community and team's desire for new content, we chose the latter option. But when we made that decision, we failed to properly update community expectations as for how far the Cosmodrome experience was going to be extended, and that was a mistake. And so they say with the Devil's Lair and Fallen Saber strikes returning, we don't have any active plans to add more to the Cosmodrome than what is there, and we'll be focusing on new updates overall. They finished by saying that Cosmodrome was the first big push, and later this year, Vault of Glass is going to return as well. And this is kind of a mixed bag really in terms of the conversation. I think it's kind of frustrating that they haven't included those few areas of the Cosmodrome that were accessible. And while there's a lot of nostalgia for those spaces, I guess there's also a question of what are we going to do in those spaces? And currently I'd be more interested in seeing more new content to actually play in the Cosmodrome. We are going to get a Battleground this season. And I guess versus them focusing on new destinations, new activities or whatever for year 4. Relatively speaking, it would be kind of a waste of time to pour resources into expanding an area that you're not actually going to do anything with, right? I do, however, think they should have updated us back in Beyond Light if that's when they kind of knew that they weren't going to go in this direction. But it's good to have clarification about it now, and I'd be curious to get thoughts from you down below. Once again, definitely I have a lot of nostalgia for those areas in the Cosmodrome, but if Bungie aren't going to populate them with new activities and reasons to actually go to the destination, then I guess it does probably make sense to focus those resources elsewhere. But give us your thoughts down below. We should mention the launch of Trials of Osiris this weekend, or the continuation of Trials with the launch of new gear. Of course, there are 3 new weapons that have been thrown into the loot pool with both standard and adept variants. And of course the new armor, which is pretty awesome. Let us know if you've had any experiences inside of Trials this weekend. And in terms of unique rewards, we should just mention some of the cosmetic drops for the Paradigm Shift, which is the new Sparrow. This is a flawless chest completion drop in the Trials Lighthouse. And the same can be said for the Winds of Change, the new exotic ship. However, for the Ghost Shell, it can randomly drop when winning matches in Trials of Osiris as well. So that's a pretty cool one to go after in the playlist. And then there's also a new shader, and this drops exclusively from flawless tickets as well. So once again, let us know your experiences inside of Trials if you've jumped in. I think even I may have to jump in and go after some of that armor. Safe to say it looks pretty awesome. Another thing Bungie didn't really highlight going into this season, but they do point out that they've added a quest detail screen, and it allows us to get more information about each of the quests we're actually undertaking. So using the Hawkmoon one as an example, we can see the quest reward, key steps and dialogue, which actually is probably going to be most exciting when we're going after a new exotic quest in the next couple of weeks. I'd say overall it's a pretty cool feature. But finally, for Season of the Chosen, and hopefully a series of the bugs and issues in the game at the moment, there is going to be a hotfix next week on February 18th. So due to drop on Thursday at the daily reset time, and for now they tell us that the Salvager's Salvo will be able to be reclaimed from collections. Vendor tooltips will no longer say they require Trials tokens to rank up Reputation. And then the Whisper of Chain Stasis Fragment will properly grant damage resistance when standing near frozen enemies, and swapping between Challenger Medallions or Cabal Runes on the Hammer of Proving will now refund currencies used. I'm sure by next week there'll be some additional changes we'll get in the patch notes, so stay tuned for that. But for today guys, that is what we have to discuss in this video, so I hope as always it has been useful or interesting. Give us all of your thoughts down in the comment section. And also if you're new to the channel and want to be kept up to date with the world of Destiny 2, then feel free to hit that subscribe button. But for now, whatever you guys get up to, I hope you have an awesome day.